Now finally, you're probably familiar with that opening line from Star Wars, in a galaxy far, far away. But now NASA's James Webb Space Telescope has identified a galaxy far, far away. In fact, the most distant and oldest galaxy ever recorded. It's called the MOM Z14, and it's believed to have been formed just a few 100 million years after the Big Bang. But that's not all the telescope has spotted. And this is an artistic impression of a planet known as WASP 121b, and it's locked in an extremely close orbit around a star that is hotter and brighter than our sun.
In the cold silence of space, a mysterious truth is unfolding. The universe is slowly fading away, and it might be happening faster than we ever imagined. Our next story, breaking down a new research that reveals a chilling update. Everything we know, from stars to black holes, could be vanishing into nothingness through an invisible, unstoppable process.
Let's talk about something more uplifting. New pictures from space. NASA's James Webb Telescope has captured the beauty of Jupiter's auroras. Those images could provide new insight into the planet's unique atmosphere. Here to show us these images and what scientists found is our meteorologist, Vianney Arana, and tell us about this discovery.
Hi, Janelle. Jupiter is known as the solar system's largest planet, and the James Webb Telescope was able to capture a display of striking dancing lights, as you mentioned, known as auroras. Now, check out the images captured using infrared light, which allows a look farther back than any other telescope. These bright lights happen when high-energy particles from space collide with atoms of gas in the atmosphere near its magnetic poles. Think of the northern lights that we see here, but much brighter. Although both Jupiter and Earth's auroras, northern and southern lights, are powered by high-energy particles that get ejected from the sun during solar storms. Now, I got a chance to chat with the lead author of the study, who detailed why Jupiter's auroras are 100, even 1,000 times brighter than the lights we see here on Earth.
The strength of Jupiter's magnetic field and the energies involved in the particles that are hitting Jupiter. Jupiter's powerful magnetic field can accelerate particles to extremely high energies. You know, we're talking energies that are very dangerous for any spacecraft that goes to Jupiter. These spacecraft have to be designed like tanks in order to survive the radiation environment at Jupiter.
Well, I don't know if there's any plans to go to Jupiter anytime soon, but so why study Jupiter's magnetic field and auroras?
That's a great question. You heard him say the strength of radiation is so powerful, we can't physically visit it, but we can enjoy it through telescopes like the James Telescope. And I asked him about how maybe the science in Jupiter could help us here on Earth, or how it might have a direct impact. And here's what Professor Nichols had to say.
Energetic particles exist in the Earth's magnetic field, and they can have impacts on all our satellite communications, radio communications, aircraft travel near the poles, GPS devices. All of these things are affected by the processes that are occurring in the Earth's space environment.
Okay, that actually made sense.
Right? Yeah, really neat stuff. You know, there's such thing as our weather here in the atmosphere, but also there is space weather that they continue to do important research on how that directly might impact us. But I mean, the most common way, GPS, your phone, your cellular devices, anytime we see those type of magnetic storms, we of course always like to update you on that.
Scientists have discovered the strongest evidence yet of possible life beyond our solar system. Researchers using the James Webb Space Telescope say they have detected in a distant planet's atmosphere 2 gases that are generated on Earth by living organisms. This suggests the distant planet may be teeming with microbial life. While more research is needed, scientists say, here's the headline, these are the first hints of an alien world that is possibly inhabited.
I don't know how to feel about that. Okay.
You're looking at a stellar nursery, young stars only a few million years old, captured in this stunning image by the James Webb Telescope.
Well, first, the image is just gorgeous. It's absolutely fantastic.
But it's more than just a pretty picture. Researchers at Johns Hopkins University found 6 proverbial needles in this haystack of the universe. Green circles marking so-called rogue planets 950 light years away.
And by this, we mean these objects that are kind of free floating in space, untethered to any star or any body in space.
Maybe they just form without a star, and they just form like a star, but they have very, very small mass. Or they were at some point part of a planetary system, and with interactions, they were kicked out.
To see them, researchers had to use a Canadian tool known as NIRISS to detect light from far outside our solar system.
It was the first time we applied it to study young stars, something in our galaxy.
What they observed helps explain how planetary masses form, whether in disks of gas and dust around young stars, much like Jupiter and our own solar system, or from a cloud of gas and dust untethered to any star's gravity, like these free-floating objects.
Is the solar system typical or rare?
The fact that we didn't find anything below 5 times the mass of Jupiter shows that we are probing the very limits of star formation.
Knowing the size to look for helps narrow down the field in the search for planetary bodies yet unknown.
If we are able to one day travel to these places, what will we see? What will we find?
Questions scientists hope the James Webb Telescope will help answer someday.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into something pretty mind-bending, actually. A cosmic head-scratcher.
Oh.
Yeah, these galaxies that were basically hiding in plain sight. Well, not plain sight exactly.
Right, because we couldn't see them with traditional methods.
Exactly. They've been nicknamed UFO galaxies. Now, not the little green men kind, obviously.
No. Stands for ultra-red flattened objects, I believe. Though UFO galaxy is catchier.
Definitely catchier, but yeah, a totally new type of galaxy discovered way out there.
And it's genuinely surprising, you know. We sort of thought we had a decent handle on the nearby galaxy population.
Yeah, too.
Yeah.
Felt like the local universe was pretty well mapped. But these things, they're described as big, red, and just incredibly dusty.
Huge amounts of dust.
And that dustiness is key, isn't it? Because telescopes like Hubble, they just miss them completely.
Yeah, right. Hubble mainly sees invisible light, like our eyes. Dust blocks that light.
So they were invisible to it. But then along comes the James Webb Space Telescope.
With its infrared eyes.
Exactly. And suddenly, bam, there they are, shining brightly in the infrared spectrum.
It's a perfect example of how new technology, new ways of seeing can just reveal things we had no idea existed, like a whole hidden population.
It really is. And, you know, the researchers involved, I think from the University of Colorado Boulder.
Yes, that's another.
One of them, Justice Gibson, basically said it makes you think maybe our picture of the universe isn't quite as complete as we thought.
Well, precisely. If our census was missing entire populations of large galaxies nearby, what does that mean? What else have we missed?
What fundamental assumptions might be? Well, wrong, or at least incomplete.
It's a big question. And that dust you mentioned, I mean, up to 50 times more dust than our own Milky Way.
50 times, that's staggering.
It really is. Where does all that dust come from? Why are they so full of it? That's a major puzzle now.
Definitely a puzzle. And they're red, too. Very red. Does that tie into anything?
Well, astronomers are certainly wondering, you know, there are those really massive red sort of dead galaxies we see in the very early universe.
Right, the ones that formed stars really early and then just stopped.
Exactly. So is there a connection? Are these UFOs maybe some kind of later evolutionary stage or something else entirely?
It's fascinating. So many new questions just from spotting these things nearby.
It just goes to show, doesn't it? These unexpected discoveries are what really push the science field. They force us to rethink things.
Absolutely. Keeps things exciting. And it reminds us there's still so much out there to learn.